Hi, everyone. This is author Agnes Verona Oquendo. I just want to say thank you to all the first responders, my medical work family, and all the first responders for your role and compassion during the 2020 coronavirus pandemic. Why? Because it affects all of us. A shout out to a few of my supporters. There are so many, but I every day I'm gonna shout out to um, different ones. So today I'm shouting out to Paul Lafferty, Clint Buchanan, Bill Welsh, the Araisin brothers, Richie and Bobby, Richie Chin, Jeff Benjamin, Mariana Chiradello, Richie and Virginia Ray, Art Hall, Aborn Etchison, Linda Polly, Stephanie Garcia, Lisa Stewart, Josh Carabello. Of course, a shout out to Nikki Sanchez, my editor, Lindsay Flores and the Flores gang. Um, Lindsay Flores is my personal publisher. For my first book, Running Against Cancer, the cover picture is from artist Sarah Yester. I also want to say thank you to Sarah. Illustrators that I have for my other books are Charlie Clark, Damon Henson, and Rob Richardson. So I wanted to read a little bit more from Running Against Cancer. It is available through Amazon. So yesterday I read the beginning. I'm going to read a little bit more. The sunlight fought its way into my room as it did most mornings that I didn't work. My body ached as though I had been in a fight, and my pillow was wet from crying during the night. I must have had some nightmare last night, I thought to myself. At that very moment, from the corner of my eye, I saw the biopsy report lying on the nightstand. I quickly made a dive for it and almost fell out of the bed. I nervously held onto the paper and read over it over and over again in my head, and then out loud in case it sounded differently coming from my lips. But no matter how hard I tried, the results were the same. I had breast cancer. My eyes welled up again, remembering events from yesterday. I was a mess, and I wasn't ready to make any rational decisions. I could barely see through my swollen eyes. My body collapsed and I fell back onto the bed. I spent the entire day questioning the validity of the report. They must have mixed up someone else's report with mine, I thought. That has to be it. But deep down in my gut, I knew that wasn't so. This weekend, I went through a series of emotions like denial. I searched my mind over and over for rational and irrational reasons as to how this could possibly occur. I bargained with myself about myself and then prayed and cried some more. This weekend felt like an eternity. By Monday morning, I think my tear ducts were completely empty, and I decided right then my only option is doing something with my cancer. I succumbed to the fact that this mutated cell growing in my body was my cancer, and I knew that I had to destroy it before it destroyed me. I no longer cared as to how and why I have cancer, and made a conscious decision to figure out what to do with it now. I need to be sure, I thought. I need a second and possibly a third opinion before I can make a medical decision of this magnitude. This advice is something I have offered many, many times before to my family, my friends, and my patients. I honestly believe this advice to be significant and essential with each and every one of my patients' hands as I held while they cried. And I believe this is my best and my only option now. I did quite a bit of pacing back and forth and answered my own questions during this time. I need another opinion to help me make a decision. I said out loud to myself. I think I just needed to hear these words, perhaps as a confirmation of my weekend revelation. I didn't have a plan yet, but I went to work on Monday morning with my biopsy report folded neatly in the pocket of my scrub top. We spent most of our awake time at work, and I was certainly on familiar ground. But today, I became tongue tied with each friend and colleague I approached. My heart would race and my face became flushed, and there was just not an easy way to ask for their help. I remember uttering and mumbling a few crackled words and handing the report over to them. It felt as though my heart was pounding in a tunnel because the echo was unbearable. My palms were soaked with sweat as I peered and studied their facial expressions while they silently read the report. I can see their eyes widen with each word. I could I couldn't help notice the instant look of shock and disbelief at first, which then transformed to discomfort and then immediately to sympathy from each reader. I wasn't looking for sympathy. I was in desperate need for help. I use I was used to consulting with my colleagues quite frequently regarding mine and their patients. But this was a different circumstance because this was not about patients. This was about me. As a nurse, I made quick life-threatening decisions countless times throughout my career. I felt helpless and I was unsure of how to proceed. I was essentially lost. My life as I knew it has now changed forever. My decision will hold my destiny, and I'm terrified of deciding on which road to travel now. In approaching my friends and colleagues in this manner, I created an air of discomfort for them unintentionally, but the desperation in my face was so evident. The discomfort immediately vanished and was replaced with concern, warmth, and compassion. I trusted them every working day, and now with my very life. I was confident they would give me the wisdom and strength I need to make my decision. I was then ready, but not prepared to share my news with my loved ones. It was an extremely difficult conversation relaying what I knew to them. I had to say the words out loud. I have breast cancer, at least a dozen times before I can attempt to approach my family with this news. It just didn't sound real to me. How do I tell my family about my diagnosis when I have difficulty convincing myself of this abhorrent cell growing within? I cried because the sad truth is that I can no longer deny its existence. So, this book represents what I went through personally and everyone around me, whether it be my family, my friends, everyone around me. Um, I wrote it because I wanted to share my experience, what I went through, and hopefully help others to find some type of hope and some way of survival. Running Against Cancer, it is available through Amazon. I also have my shorts available through Amazon and Dark Whispers of a Serial Killer. My newest book, Nurse Diaries, is also available through Amazon. And thank you very much for sitting here with me.